and welcome to my brand new channel, TheFilipinaPea. As you might have guessed, my name is P, and before we get started, let me tell you about myself, who I am, where I live, and what kind of content you can expect to find on my channel. First off, I live in a small town of Valencia right outside Dumaguete, just across the water from the island of Cebu. I'm in my 20s, but people tell me I'm an old soul because my favorite music and movies are from the 1980s. And this video actually ends with a reference to one of my favorite old flicks. See if you can tell which one. I've never been married, no kids, but I've done my fair share of dating a wide variety of people, both locals and foreigners. I've also spent a lot of time listening to other people and observing their relationships. I'll be sharing those observations with you about life and love in the Philippines. If you're a foreigner considering a vacation or even a permanent move here, I'll be your treasure trove of useful information. Housing, transportation, the cost of living, nightlife, local culture, and especially that elusive creature known as the Filipina. What does she think? What does she really want? What kind of man can steal her heart? Well, as a Filipina myself, I feel uniquely qualified to give you the inside scoop, even the secrets they don't want you to know. So buckle up, let's get started, and I hope you enjoy the ride. So, today's topic, does your Filipina really love you? I know it is a common question for foreigners that have decided to date or marry a Filipina. I know many of you have used online dating sites to meet a woman you're interested in, such as Filipino Cupid, Date in Asia, even Tinder. Well, then just a few weeks of chatting with this girl, or sometimes a lot sooner, your Filipina suddenly says, wait for it, the L word. I love you. I know that your reaction would have been, what the hell? It seems out of place, almost childish. Because for you, those terms doesn't pop up until you spend a lot of time together, one-on-one time together, and already invested yourself in the relationship. So what gives? Do they really mean it? Does it mean the same thing in both cultures? Or maybe she's just telling you what she thinks you want to hear. But the tough question is, are you supposed to say it back? Well, first you need to understand where is she coming from. If she's from a small provincial town, you might be the first foreigner that she plans to meet. Well, she probably been raised on a Disney fairy tales about princesses, knight in shining armor, or a white knight, especially a white knight. So she's already started a fantasy in her head about you, riding in to rescue the damsel in distress. It also seems natural to her to blurt out, I love you. But does she mean it? Well, I think personally, she thinks she does at the time. But maybe, just maybe, she's just infatuated with the idea of you and what you represent. But maybe not you personally. After all, you haven't spent a lot of time together, and she doesn't know you that well. She doesn't know that you like to sleep till noon every day, or whenever you eat pork, you develop uncontrollable flatulence. And God only knows what you don't know about her. So, how can we say it, or how can we call it true love? I know many of you have been familiar with the TV show 90 Day Fiancé. Well, this season, one of the couples they featured was a 54-year-old American named Ed and 23-year-old Filipina named Rose. So they both said I love you and already planned their lives together before they even met. It was obvious, very obvious to anyone who watched the show that there was no true love between them. Ed was mesmerized by her beauty, which is fairly normal for guys. Rose was just in love with the idea of Ed. Well, needless to say, they never married and Ed is back in the US. But what if your Filipina is a big city girl? Maybe one that's dated a few foreigners. She knows not to throw the L word at you right away, but often she does it anyway. So what's up with that? Well, the city girl may have a slightly different motivation. Filipinas that have experience with foreigners know that they have to lock you down as soon as possible. Because they know that as soon as you get off that plane in Manila or Cebu, you're going to be bombarded with these flirtatious and sometimes aggressive city girls who want nothing more than to make your last name their last name. And I'm not saying that they're all gold diggers, but they know the score. They will do everything they can to keep you away, as in away from all those other temptations. They know there's a good chance that once you see all these new toys within reach, they may end up being a toy left on the shelf. So, if they can get the I love yous going as soon as possible, they have a better chance of creating an emotional bond with you before someone else does. Now, if you're an old guy, the thought had crossed in your mind that how could this beautiful young woman possibly be attracted to me? I'm nearly a senior citizen. My body isn't what it used to be. I'm going bald. And a woman in my country barely give me the time of day. So the only thing I have to offer is my ka-ching money. So that must be the only reason she says I love you. Of course, every time you think that, your gold digger alarm goes off like full volume, like ding, 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 we have a winner. I admit that there's a certain type of Filipina or woman from any country, including yours, that's only interested in separating you from your money. Well, we're all aware of the scammers who always seem to have a problem with their phone, no load, or a mother on the brink of death in the hospital, whose only salvation is your big donation, the donation from you. But that is not really usually the case in the Philippines. What you have to understand is that the culture here is completely different from yours. It's absolutely true that age difference really doesn't matter much to us. And a gap of 30 or more doesn't even raise an eyebrow. Seriously, no one's gonna be laughing at your back when when you walk past arm in arm with a gorgeous woman half of your age. It is just the way it is here. In our culture, it is also true that money is important. Things in your country like electricity, water, and food on the table are taken for granted. You guys are just taken for granted. But those are not the case here. It's not the case here in the Philippines. And when a Filipina says, "Oh, he's rich," what she often means is that here's a man who can support and provide for me, for my basic necessities. I need to live and be happy. Does that mean she's a gold digger? Western women may enjoy spending your money, but in general, Filipinas just want to know that you have enough to make us feel secure. After all, money equals security. For Western men, you were raised to believe that the idea of romantic love should have nothing to do with money. Filipinas' attitude can seem a little, suspicious. But just like women around the world, we look for financial stability from our partners. I think there's nothing wrong with that. The only difference is that here we are more practical about it and we don't try to hide it, really. After all, honesty is the best policy. But here's the question. Is your Filipina really attracted to you, like physically? The simple answer is, are you ready? That's a big yes. It's not only what you can do for her, it's how you make her feel. Filipinas are not looking for the hottest guy in town with the six packs and the fat wallet. They're just looking for someone that will love them and would stay with them. To us, that is sexy. And we find older men very attractive because they're mature and stable. And Western men are at the front of the line. Why? Ask any Filipina. She'll tell you that foreigners usually means the white guy from the Western world not only have beautiful eyes, skin, and cute noses, which you do, by the way. We perceive you as loving, loyal, polite, and especially you don't hit your women. And most important of all, you listen to your partners. You actually care what we think and feel. Again, it's how you make us feel, and that's very sexy. I have a lot of friends who are married to Westerners, and almost every single one of them are very happy with their mate and wouldn't leave them for the world. Filipinas don't need their husbands to buy them stuff. They're just happy to be the center of their husband's life. Typically, Filipinas don't ask their partners to buy them expensive houses or cars or jewelries and the simplest things that can bring smiles to our faces. So, it's not really your money that we're after. It's just you. Now, where does all this leave you? How should you react when your Filipina you're interested in unexpectedly say, "I love you"? Just know that she's not automatically after your money. Although it is important that you know where your next meal is coming from. She's not lying to you when she says it. She's just hoping. Think of it like a green light to develop a meaningful relationship with her. Take it with a grain of salt, but at least you know that her heart is probably in the right place. Just keep your eyes open to all the possibilities, but also keep a hand on your wallet, just in case. And best of luck to both of you. Thanks so much for enduring my first video with many more to come. And if you want to make me love you, just hit that subscribe button and see you soon. You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go. But not until you subscribe, like, leave a comment, and hit that notification bell. I'm a new channel and I really need your support. Thanks.